So, welcome everybody to the session. I hope everybody can see and hear me clearly. Uh, Things should be fine. Just in case there's any problem, please try to confirm. If there's any problem, if you can actually, if there's any problem in the audio and the video, please confirm. If it is all fine, I will go ahead. By the way, let me quickly tell you about the session which we have planned for you today. This is a discussion of the decision making section of XAT 2021, which happened just a few days back, right? And so what exactly do we require in decision making? Let me quickly summarize the skills required, just for the sake of introducing, just for the sake of knowing it, just to break the ice. Decision making is very similar to what we call a case study, right? In That is used in most B schools and in many other places also. You are given situations and you're given information and you're given uh, information about a certain situation, and you are supposed to decide which is the best of the possible actions, the best options which are given below, right? And there, if you notice, the key is very simple. We will have to focus on, we should depend on only the clues, the details which are given in the passage, given sometimes along with the question also. So do not use any pre-knowledge, do not use simply use common sense and use only the clues which are given in the statements and the passage. And once we pick up the questions, we will get to know it very easily, right? And by the way, do not forget to like, do not forget to share, and also subscribe and comments. In any case, if you have any doubts, you can share it through the comments. And do not forget to like and subscribe to the like this session, and subscribe to the Gradeup channel. Okay, so this is the first passage. I will give you time to read it. In fact, if you notice, there are three questions which are based on it. And Vivek, can I get a call at that score? You getting a call from XIMB now? That is something which is a touch and go. And by the way, the best platform to do that would be, since we are discussing something else, the best platform to do that would be to send, to drop a mail, right? Drop a message at Gradeup. We will definitely answer, or otherwise you can watch for the analysis of the entire section. It will be taken up later on, right? Okay, so take some time to read, and before you read, if you want, I can show you the question. The first question is, and if you notice, there is also some extra information given, and the question asked is, which of the following, if true, will best enable Sandeep to share the news with Saradeep without delay? So share some news, and in fact, this information is to be used in answering question number 1 only, right? The other pieces of information which are given in the passage will be used commonly for every question, including question number 1. But this information which we have put in brackets is to be used exclusively for question number 1. So in short, when we answer question number 1, we are going to use a combination of the passage and the information given before the passage, right? So Adit, in decision making, well, objections, I don't think it would be really worth it. And by the way, in decision making, what happens is, in many cases, you may not have the best answer, you may not have the correct answer. It is not like, a calculation, a mathematical calculation, or something that can have an exact answer. So if you somehow use common sense, well, we can arrive at the answer, and in many cases we have to settle for the best answer. So generally it can be confusing at times, but let's see, we will take up the questions one by one, and let's see how we should uh, we should we should we should we should go about it. I hope all of you are reading the information. All of you have read it, I think. And those of you who have attempted the paper would have already read it. So just to refresh your memory, you can probably read it. All of you have read it, I think. I'll show you the next slide. So Saradeep is the father, Sandeep, Kesar and Tapsi. Sandeep is the youngest, right? And Kesar and Tapsi are the other siblings. So the entire situation is laid out in front of you. So the youngest son wants to become a lawyer. Of late he has been offered an admission, so he rushed to share his news with his family members. And the question is this. So Sandeep, before he shared the news with Kesar first, who exhibited mixed feelings. Kesar, the older sibling, right? He was happy, but he was concerned about the father's reaction. The father had an anxiety attack, and was he's at rest, right? So Kesar advised Sandeep to delay sharing his selection news with their father. So the advice given by Kesar to Sandeep is delay the news. Right now, the question asked is, which of the following will help Sandeep to share the news without delay? Focus on this, the contrast here. The advice given by the older sibling is that wait for some time. The question is asking you, what should enable Sandeep to share the news to the father without delay? Focus on without delay, you will find the answer very easily. Right? Why am I asking you to do this? Because it's contrasted against there's a contrast, so we'll have to work with that contrast. So what is the best answer? Right. In fact, I will show you the answer which was given by the official answer and the official key, and this is correct. Right now, one way to approach it is you can eliminate Sarandeep. Saradeep regarded law as a respectable profession. The problem with this option is that it does not cover the requirement. It does not meet the requirement of without delay. I mean, if the father regards law as a respectable profession, well, does it mean that Saradeep would be enabled to share the news without delay? No. So this is something which fails on on this count, right? If you notice, every other option apart from B will tell you that the information, all of it will fail on because of this requirement without delay. Okay, so everybody is clear with this, I think. So the point here in option B is that the father prefers to get the news directly, straight from the horse's mouth, directly from the person concerned. And keeping this in mind, the last statement also, he has been advised by his older sibling to delay the news. So if it actually reaches the father's ears before he himself, Sandeep himself, shares it, it will lead to trouble, right? So everybody is clear with this, I think. Right now, what about the second question? Let's see. Rajesha, no, we are not as of now. I think it is better to stick to the answer key, because if you notice, even though you may not agree to some extent with the given choice, if you look at the correct answer option alone, it may not be, you might find some loopholes in it, but given the 5 choices, the answers which are given by the official keys, by the officials, right, by the authorities, that answer can be found out to be the best choice. So these answers are all fine, right? So in any case, as I was telling you earlier, in decision making, the point is, it's like finding out the best way out. So there's nothing like an exact answer. It is not a scientific or a mathematical calculation, something that should have the exact answer, not like that. So what would be the answer for the second one? Now, if you notice, the plant and its culture had to be molded. Kesar wanted to identify a candidate acceptable to Saradeep. So what is the best choice? Now, if you look at the best answer given to this is C. And fine, let's eliminate. Now, what works against option A is that who had been a homemaker for 15 years. Now, Kesar's wife, trustworthy, okay, but being a homemaker for 15 years makes it a little bit questionable. So will this candidate be able to live up to the expectations? Will she be able to change? We do not know. So let's keep it on hold right now. Again, the problem with B is that if the same person is requested to take additional charge it's like 2 hours drive, so the person might have to shuttle between the two plants, and secondly, it might be too much on her plate. She might have a lot on her plate, more than she can probably handle right now. So the best option is C, right? with them for 30 years on the count of trust also. This is quite good. And by the way, the ability is also not questionable, because the best one is, I mean, this is the best option. He has been the deputy head, so enough of knowledge, enough of experience, and enough of trust. And you still have time. Retire in 7 years, so still has a long way to go, right? And everybody is clear with this. I hope there are no objections. And in any case, the answers which I'm showing you are the official answers. And in any case, if anybody finds any objection, if anybody has anything to ask, you can definitely ask your questions. If you feel that any of the options are a little bit if you find that there is something disagreeable to you, clarify your doubts. Let's see what is the option, what is the next question, right? So which of the following the questions target is this: will best assuage Kesar's fear regarding Tapsi. So what is the fear of Tapsi? What is the fear of Kesar as far as Tapsi is concerned? Tapsi sees, the Kesar is afraid of the fact that Tapsi would not take Sandeep's decision well, and she might prevent Sandeep from pursuing his dreams. The background information tells us that the same thing happened to Tapsi, as in she was actually forced to, compromise on her dreams, right? Back then, but now she has, she has changed. So she has completely changed herself, right? So what is the best answer? Okay, now if you look at the answer is quite perfectly fine, right? Tapsi gifted Sandeep a sports bike on even when Saradeep was completely against it. This tells us that Tapsi is capable of standing up for her brother even when the father is against it, and that's exactly what is required in this situation, right? Now there's only one option which might be a little bit confusing, which might be a little bit attractive. That is option D. In the convocation speech, said that she still harbored a dream of quitting the family business for becoming a. Now the problem with D is that this is Tapsi's personal thing. This is her personal opinion. This is something which she has for herself. Will she extend it to somebody and stand up and go against the father? We do not know. But E is a better choice as to what should be the answer, right? So, okay. Now, Yogesh, question 2. He retires in 7 years. How can he serve the plan for long term? 7 years is quite a long term. If you look at the other options, so Yogesh and everybody else in the previous question, right? In all questions, you are supposed to choose the best option, right? So the best option from the given 5. There's no perfect answer. So at least for 7 years, he will be the best choice. The others have a flaw in them, right? And once he retires, again, it is not necessary that, the person, if the person retires, he can be asked to extend, right, by 1 or 2 years, or you can, after 7 years, you can find a replacement. Okay, all clear, I think, right? So raise your objections like this. If you feel that there's anything to be discussed, you should definitely ask it. Now, is question number 3 fine? Is it all fine? Hope it is all fine, I think. Right. Let's move on to the next question. Again, the next question, the details are given. Let's see. Okay, guys, all of you who are asking me about your about the expected score and the calls, there will be an analysis later on conducted by Gradeup. You can watch it and stay subscribed to the channel, and you will receive notifications on time for the sessions, right? All clear, I hope. This is the information that you have read. This is the second. Those of you who have already attempted the paper will know this. So these are the situations. I'll give you 30 seconds to read it. All clear, I hope. All of you have read it, I think. Shall we move on? Shall we look at the questions? Okay, the question is this. So Ashraf feels happy after his brief email interaction with Sridevi. Which of the following will best make him hopeful about his imminent promotion. So what is the best answer to this according to the keys? The best answer is C, right? Now, chose Ashraf over others for help while in the midst of a mission. So that means Sri Devi has thinks of Ashraf as a dependable person. In terms of crisis, she thinks of Ashraf as a dependable person, so he can be hopeful about being considered for promotion. Now, if you notice, the other option which can be a little bit confusing is two. It is for the first time ever that Sridevi directly approached Ashraf to contact the client. This is also close, but C is better because C gives us information about the fact that Sridevi considers Ashraf a dependable person who can actually be reached out to in times of crisis, in times of a difficulty, right? Approaching Ashraf for the first time, well, that is also there, but then C is a better answer than B. Everybody is clear with this, I hope. All clear. So this is quite valid as an answer, right? So as I was telling you, in decision making, there is no correct answer. You are supposed to actually choose which is the better or which is the best one, right? Now, the next question, let's see. So everything is done. Now the information that is given here is, that the further information that is given here is this, right? So what is happening now is that, Ashraf comes to know, it's come to know that the mail that Ashraf received was not from, was probably, something like a, like a phishing, it's like a fraud. So it was sent from somewhere else, probably a fraud, right? So it is not from her official ID. So now Ashraf requests Sridevi. So what is the Ashraf gives the following reasons for his compensation demand. So which of the following is the best combination? Here, if you look at it closely, the best answer is 1, 2 and 3. Why? Let's see. Let's eliminate the others. Now, if you look at 5, in the past, some of my acquaintances had been similarly duped, right? Some of my acquaintances had been similarly duped does not mean that this time also it cannot be used to justify the fact that Ashraf needs compensation. So duping is there. If you look at 3, if you look at 1, 2 and 3, I heard financial rectitude is on record, which basically means this man is somebody who has he is clean, he is immaculate, right? So, and he acted in the greater interest of the company. More importantly, the spam mail, it reached the inbox because of the company's email failure. In fact, it reaches official inbox only. So the best answer is 1, 2 and 3. All clear, I hope, right? And if you notice, 4 can be eliminated. A new tech employee who was robbed of 20,000 was not punished. This is something which can be eliminated. So eliminate whatever has 4, right? And you can zero in on the options. So it is basically a toss up between 2, 3 and 5. But then, so in the end, it's basically choosing between 1 and 5. And 5 is something which is irrelevant. If not relevant, it is, if not irrelevant, it is something which makes very little impact on the entire exercise, on the entire situation. Let's see. Now, the next question is this. So Sridevi begins to doubt Ashraf's competencies given the way. She has doubts now. So in the meeting, so she shares these following observations. So which of the following combinations will go against the chances of promotion? So this is the question that is asked, right? So let's see. The best answer given is 1, 2 and 3. Why? So we are going to look at something which will say that this person, Ashraf, does not deserve to be promoted, something which will come in the way of his promotion. First of all, verbal communication, which is critical at subsequent levels, very much relevant, because if the person is not able to, as he goes higher up the corporate ladder, if he does not have good communication, it will be a problem later on, right? Now, if you look at the next question, Ashraf should have been perceptive even though the company's email filter failed him. To some extent, this is also valid. If you look at 3, right, this is like a clinching factor. He had joined the email filter team 1 month prior to his receiving the phishing emails, which means The filter team is the filtering system, the mail filter system is at flaw. And Ashraf himself was a part of that team which made this flawed system. So that basically means Ashraf, it goes very much against Ashraf. Right. So the best answer is 1, 2, and 3. All clear, I hope. Right. Now, and by the way, in between, let me quickly remind you, do not forget to like, do not forget to share the session if you like it, and ask your doubts in the form of comments, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel also. Okay, another set of questions. I hope all of you are, all of you agree with the answers. If you do not raise your, doubts, we will discuss it. And as I was telling you, in many cases, in most of the cases, it is the best option that has to be picked rather than the correct answer. There is no correct answer, by the way. While dealing with the problem, right? I mean, if it is a practical, real life problem, well, in most cases, you do not have a direct solution. If you have a direct solution, it is not a problem. I mean, that can be easily handled. Okay, so I hope all of you have read this. So, though she was a fresh recruit, so here, Himaja, fresh recruit, she longed to be in a client-facing role. Okay, right. So, let's see. The next question is, during an informal gathering, Himaja mustered up courage to ask Nirmal for a, what will best justify Nirmala saying no to Himaja, right? So what will go against the this person's choice? I mean, it's this person's request. The request is for a client-facing role. Now, if you look at it, the best answer is C. Clients do not appreciate strategic discussions with fresh recruits. It draws on the fact given in the passage that she is a fresher, right? And if you're going to face a client, and if the client does not like it, after all, the client is the king, right? So this is the best answer. Now, leaving early and client meetings go late into the night, this can be easily corrected. If Himaja is actually serious about it, she will be willing to change it. So this is not much of an objection, right? And the teammates are not happy with the communication skills, right? So the teammates not happy with the communication skill, it may not be actually a fact. It could be a problem of perception also, could be anything, right? So better option than B is C, right? Himaja needs to improve her presentation skills. Can be very easily worked out, right? Can be very easily worked out, but then C is something which cannot be changed, right? If it is a fact, it cannot be changed. So that way, this is something which we can pick to be the best, the one which goes best against the one which goes against the candidature of this Himaja, right? All clear, I hope, right? Next question, let's see. So further information. So what is the most appropriate action that Nirmal should take against Himaja's behavior? The behavior is explained here. Just go through it. So she has been assigned a client-facing role. Now she was instructed to take notes. However, she made a comment which was against Nirmal. In the next, she interrupted the client, and this offended the client. And so she was asked not to interrupt. She was asked to only listen and take notes, but she interrupted. And also, she made the comment, and the comment was against the person who was the face of the organization, who was representing the organization. So that is a very serious thing. And second, she interrupted the client, and the client was unhappy, right? So what would be the most appropriate action? Now, the best answer is caution Himaja. Now, this is a direct action taken by Nirmal, her boss, and the person who is a first-hand witness to the entire incident. Right now, the problem with B is have a chat with Himaja later in the evening. Okay. Explain and request her not to repeat. Why should you request? She has committed. She has gone against the the direction. So why should we request? Right? Should not be request. She should be cautioned not to. She should be corrected because she has gone against the directions. Right. And C, if you await for the half yearly performance review, it's almost like a vindictive action. If a person has a problem, especially your subordinate, you should immediately point it out. Do not wait for a year to, otherwise year to take action. That will sound like something which is very, uh, you know, very very vindictive kind of an action, right? And 5-day listening skills workshop, well, this is like almost you are suggesting a solution which may or may not work out, but first you need to point out that the person is at fault, right? So that is why, right? Okay, and asking the teammates to chat, this is something which you are actually evading from your duty if you do it. So best answer is A. I hope everybody is clear with this. Yes. Okay, Avnish, your problem, see, there will be a session taken at, at 1:15. In fact, not one, I'm not sure about the exact time. Right, stay tuned with us, subscribe to our channel. You will see that there will be, in fact, there will be a session on uh, the score and the colleges which, which might be, which you might get a call in, so call from. So probably that would should help you out. That would be the best platform to address. Anyway, so let's see. So what is the most appropriate action that Shreya should take in the interest of all parties? So what was, so and after another month passed, and now Himaja was working under Shreya, right? So Shreya was impressed by now the mistake that she made. During the meeting, Himaja made a statement that offended the client. Shreya tried to diffuse, but then she defended us. That means she was not willing to agree that I made a mistake, right? Now, so again, this person Himaja is at fault. So, what is the most appropriate action? The most appropriate action is B. Should move Himaja to a non-client facing role and explore client facing roles in other projects. So, as of now, send her to a place, send her to a certain team which will not which will not have a direct, you know, uh, contact with the client, and if required you can, if the person improves, if Himaja improves, you can select her, you can actually bring her back to the role again, right? Now, if you look at A, should assure the client that Himaja will be transferred. Still okay till here, but send Himaja for a 2-week vacation to rejuvenate. So that way you are protecting the person. So this is something which can be eliminated. Protecting the person at fault is wrong, right? Should defend Himaja. Why would you defend Himaja? Because Himaja, this is the most inappropriate thing, right? When the client is always correct, right? And should cast now. D is a very strong action, castigating using strong words in front of the client, right? This is very strong. And later on in the evening, share how much Shreya loved Himaja's comment. So this is like you are actually indulging in something like, hypocrisy. So that is something which should not be done, right? So should also be eliminated. And should advise Himaja to look for a role outside the consulting industry. Now, see, the consulting industry has many teams. Himaja may not be really suitable for a, for a client face to face kind of a role with the client, but it does not mean that she should be asked to leave the industry, the industry as such. So that is too strong. Okay. Okay, let's see another question. I hope all of you remember, all of you are, know the situation. This is like something which can be read in 20 seconds. So the very key information here is the fifth term is notorious for its non-negotiable teaching slots. So again, some piece of information. The key is Rohini's penultimate session of the course is going to end in 20 minutes, meaning it's like the last before, the it's like the second last session of the course is about to end. So some tragedy strikes. Tragedy, I am not something like a, in terms of, not, it's a fiasco rather. Okay, so who should be best responsible for the accident? The kids not checking the door is something which can be very easily eliminated. The best answer is C. Right. See, the kids not checking the door before resuming, the kids cannot be held responsible. After all, the kids are not, cannot be responsible at all. They are not mature enough to understand the circumstances. Right. It is again not Rohini's fault. It is Rinku who left the door. It might be inadvertent on his part, but he is at fault. Right. Rohini not locking the door from inside during class hours. Now, this is something which is not actually an error. It might be, it is not the fault. Everybody knows that inside there's a class going on. So the person who opened it is the one who should be taken as the responsible thing. Right. So everybody is clear, I hope. Right. So this is quite a straightforward kind of a choice. Okay, now, and by the way, there is this Gradeup conclave, Gradeup MBA conclave 2021. It's from January 16th to 17th. This will help you chart your chart a certain kind of a course, a way to your dream B school. The participants, the speakers of this conclave will be these 6 people, right? So you should register yourself for it and take part in it and see. It will definitely be of a lot of help to you. Okay, let's see. So Rohini has her concluding session scheduled the very next day. That means, okay, the concluding session is the next day. The session which was before that was interrupted. So what is the best course of action for Rohini regarding the final session? So her laptop is broken now, right? Now the best answer is she should take her last session on the mobile phone and request students to tolerate the inferior experience. This is keeping in mind that the slots are non-negotiable. There was information given in the passage that the slots are non-negotiable, right? So she should request Swarna to take session the next day. She might decline, first of all, right? And secondly, a change in the faculty, right? In the end, when you have an option of taking it through her phone, right, is something which can be avoided, right? Cancelling the session is, and ask students to mail video presentations she intended to teach. So that way she is not teaching, she is only delegating the research work to the students. So there is no guidance on her part. Okay, now D is again very, I mean, it's not concluded. You cannot lie, you cannot lie with the facts, right? Okay. E, defer the session. This is something which cannot be done because it is non-negotiable. Okay, Atit, asking her colleague to conduct the class. First of all, asking her colleague to conduct the class, it depends on the colleague. What if the colleague refuses? What if the colleague is already having a slot? We know that the slots are non-negotiable, right? So Swarna might also be involved. We do not know this. Swarna might already be involved somewhere. So we do not know for sure whether she will be available or not. First problem. Second problem is changing the faculty, right, in the middle is also not is an issue. We know that Rohini is quite well known for her teaching skills, so probably the people who who enroll for the course that she is offering could be because of her skills. So that is what we have to be clear about, right? So all clear, I think. Atit, I hope you are clear about this. Yes. Okay, moving on, next question. Okay, a lot of people are asking me about the scores and the percentiles expected. The exact ones I do not have it on my fingertips. And by the way, the best platform to discuss that would be a session, right? That would be taken that would be taken by people who are backed with proper research. So I do not want to hazard a guess. Let's not guess, right? In any case, I can only tell you a round figure, which is not again advisable. So let's depend only on something which is backed by proper research. So let's wait for that. Okay, so what is the best answer for 12? Hope you have read it. The best answer for 12 is D, right? Now, many of you will say, why not C? Many of you will say, why not C? The problem with C is the assurance is personal. And how in any case he has already assured him, right? And personal assurance, does it mean that Dhanraj will provide a replacement? We do not know. It's a personal assurance. So Dhanraj may or may not be, may not be, he may not be able to, he may not be probably able to just, to replace it also. Is he enabled? Does he have the authority to replace? We do not know. So it's a personal assurance. So personal assurance is something which goes against option C, right? Now, of the given choices, D is the best because the person is a long time customer, so at least she can depend on the organization, depend on the store, not the person, right? So if you notice, Dhanraj is a friend of Rohini's colleague Swarna. Again, being a friend is not going to help. In any case, Dhanraj is only a person. He is a cog in the wheel of the entire, uh, thing. Anyway, so everybody is clear with this, I hope. Let's move on to the next one. Before that, do not forget to like, do not forget to comment, do not forget to share the session and subscribe to the Gradeup channel to keep on receiving updates about such sessions. Yes, I hope all of you are clear about this. Let's see. So information is given. Take some time to read it. Everybody is read it, I hope. Now, so Damdu, an ambitious trader, wants to have exclusive access to all the surplus produced from Churna. So what is the best option? Now, देखो, here A, many of you might feel A is also suitable, but the problem is simply transporting the villagers' monthly purchases from Tendua to Churna for free will not help them meet all the villagers' material requirements. They need to barter also, right? But C, he is providing an outlet where he can definitely barter, can where the villagers can meet all the material requirements. So C is a stronger and a better option than A, right? All clear, I think. If the person wants to meet this, if the person want to have a if the person wants to have access to all the surplus produce, so we should definitely the person should actually give the best. So C is the best option of all. Everybody is clear with this. And Divya, the session will come up soon. I cannot confirm the exact time right now, but subscribe to the channel. You will keep on getting updates about the session. Subscribe to this channel and you should be able to get that. Okay, so what is the most possible reason for Damdu finding fewer takers for Churnas produced at Dendua? So let's say now the further information given is that this person has been given the complete access to the products. However, the person finds that there are few takers of this produce in Dendua. So what would be the reason for this? Right. The best answer, if you notice, the best answer would be C. It is basically the authenticity which might cause the problem, right? Now, if you look at it, a hard bargaining experience offered by Chuna's woman is miss. Will the traders miss something like this? The traders will not worry about emotional things like this. They will only worry about profit loss, right? So this is something which can be eliminated, right? Singing and dancing not related at all, right? And Churnas produce is one of the many items in Damdu's inventory. He has other things to offer. Does not mean that the one thing that is in concern is of bad quality. So in fact, if the authenticity is compromised, well, people may forget it. People may not like it at all. Okay. And again, missing the aesthetics. Well, that is only a fringe benefit. Okay. So best answer is best answer is C. And Rishabh and everybody else, a score versus, a score and percentile predictor is something, prediction is something which takes a lot of research. I do not want to simply make a guess and, do it, because in any case, we have a session coming up. It will be done with a lot of research. So let's wait for it and see. Okay. The next question is this. So a few months after granting, so what will happen is the village council decides to terminate the contract. So which of the following in descending order of significance will support the decision to terminate the contract with Damdu? So look for reasons to terminate the contract. Strongest reason first, then later on we will come to it later on. Here, if you notice, this can be done best by finding out one thing. So what is the major thing that should be definitely there? One, Churna's produce will lose its association with Churna. This is the strongest reason. So think of something which has one, and if you find that, eliminate the others. If you look at two, ignorant of the new, this is a side effect, right? After all, the first thing is the produce. The primary concern is the produce. If the produce, the key, the unique selling point of the produce will be lost, right? If you look at one, two comes later on. So that way the best answer is one. If you notice, you have to choose. You have eliminated three options. Now choose between A and D, right? The problem with A is that three, dance and song is a cultural thing. It should come later on, right? It should come later on. What should actually come first would be the skills, what the people will lose, right? So what the people will lose, right? So that way, this is something which makes, D the better answer. All clear? I think everybody is clear with this. Yes. Let's take up another question. So 3 questions per set. Let's see how it works out. So when the news of the celebrities' association with Wadia became public, there were calls to boycott FICT on social media. So FICT signed a contract with a top celebrity for endorsement, and the celebrity signed a contract with to promote tourism in a country which is run by a dictator. So whatever follows is a negative outcome of all these. Let's see the questions. So Amish, the marketing head, is concerned with the trending boycotts, with the trending the boycott calls. So which of the following would help best defend the association with the celebrity, right? Look at the options. I'll give you 20 seconds and they'll show you the answer. Okay, Atit, let me go back to the question. Atit, your question, let me dekho. Why would they lose their song and identity? So dekho. The best answer is D. 1, 2, 5, 3 and 4, right? Now, 3 and 4, the matter, if you look at 3 and 4, right? Social in 3 and 4 is not the point. The point is 1 should be the first. 1 should be the first, and 3, 1 should be the first. The produce, after all, is going to lose its importance. So 1 is the first thing. So keeping this in mind, we have eliminated 2 options, right? And if you look at 3, right, the third option, dance and song, will lose the identity. So the identity of the people, this is something which cannot be second. So I've eliminated A also. If you choose between B and D, right, 1 and 2 still fine. 1 and 2 still fine. If you look at 4, they will lose their social interaction with the outer world. This is again something. Social interaction with the outer world will not depend only on this, right? So that is one thing, right? And by the way, if you look at 5, it is a skill which they have and which is directly connected to this point. Okay, all clear, I hope. Right, all clear. Atit, is it clear? 1, 2, 5. What you're saying is, why not option 2? Right, option 2 is a problem because in option 2, 4, social interaction with the outer world is not dependent only on this point. There are other ways also, right? But hard bargaining skills is unique to this point, is unique to this particular skill, to this particular incident. Hope it is clear, right? Now, I hope all of you have understood it, especially Atit who asked the question some time ago. Anyway, let's see. This question, how do you defend the association with the celebrity? Right now, best thing is ignoring social media backlash. You are inviting trouble. Publicize that the celebrity's endorsement will help improve the livelihoods of Wadia's poor. So you are in fact trying to defend the celebrity's action. So thereby you are saying that the celebrity's endorsement will only help uplift the poor. So that way there's nothing wrong with the celebrity's decision. So you're trying to prove that. Right now, withdraw all advertisements involving the celebrity, right, from all the, till the social media moves to another issue. Till the social media moves to another issue, this is almost like a knee-jerk reaction. You never know when this thing will end, and this implies that you're going to release the withdrawn advertisements later on, and what if it resurfaces? It's like a knee-jerk reaction. Right. What about D? Chose the celebrity for his philanthropic works, but then this will not have any impact on the current issue. So eliminate D also. Right. So FICT has nothing to do with the celebrity's association with other brands. Now, you are not doing anything to defend the celebrity or your own decisions. You are simply washing your hands of the entire matter, saying it is not in our hands. So this is like evading the problem. So the best answer is B. Hope it is all clear, everybody. Hope it is clear. Let's look at the next question. Okay, let's see. Which of the following will best assure Amish that the slogan is not affecting the business negatively? Right. So affecting business is what we have to look at. The best answer to this question is B. Right. Now, because the sales volume has increased by 5% and also it is because of repeat customers. That means people are coming back again and again. Right. So this means that the business is not negatively affected. The business is in fact increasing. Right. So this is the best answer. Now, option A might be a little bit close. See, the number of visitors to the home page has increased, but is it going to impact the business directly? It might have some impact indirectly, but then the sales volume increase is a direct indicator of impact on business. Okay, hope all of you are clear, right? So I think B is a better option than A, right, which is rightly as given by the answers themselves, right? Now, monthly sales has increased by 1%, so 1% better. If you notice, B is a better option than D. Okay, right, all clear, I think. Everything else, if the revenue has decreased, well, it is not, it's giving you a sign that the business has been negatively affected. All clear, I hope. Yes, let's look at the next one. So there's another piece of information given. So there's another another organization, Tract, and this organization operates globally, right? And the celebrity who has signed the contract with Wadia, right? So they have the number of tourists in Wadia has increased manifold. So the Tract would like to make the most of this particular situation. So Tract, however, is a little bit the fear is that the celebrity may terminate his contract with Wadia Tourism, right? So what we need to look for is something which will best assure that the celebrity will continue with the association continue his association with this tourism sector of Wadia, despite the backlash on social media. Now, best answer to this question is C. See, look, in C, the celebrity did another act like this, right? Which means that he is not very moved, he is not very concerned with the social media backlash. So your aim in this question is to find out something which will tell us, if not 100% surety, if not with 100% surety, with some kind of an assurance that yes, this celebrity is likely to continue his association. Now, C tells you that this celebrity signed a similar contract with a similar country some time ago, despite the backlash, which means he's not concerned about it, concerned about the social media backlash. He follows what he wants. So best answer is that. Right. Okay. Now, everything else would not impact anything else. If you look at it, the the option which might look close, the celebrity declared that upliftment of the poor is his biggest goal in the coming decade. If he announces this, it has very little association with the fact that he continues his contract with Wadia or not. So remember, the main point, the purpose of the answer option should be to to find out evidence that the celebrity will continue with the association. Right. So all clear, I hope. Right. Let's see. The last passage is this. Dekho, Atit, you are actually catching the wrong point, wrong thing altogether. See, idea here is we are not looking at it. Look at the directions, right? The company wants evidence to assure that the celebrity will continue his association with the tourism sector of Wadia. So this new thing that is happening, right, is something which may impact the contract. So Adit, in your explanation, you are focusing more on the further backlash by the new by the new contract. Now the question is, he has already done something, right, and he has received the backlash. Still, he is doing a similar thing. That means he is not concerned with the backlash, right? So he is likely to continue the first contract also. Okay. So that way, if 1 week is enough to in fact to bring out any backlash. So it's almost like a person commits something and he receives something bad. He does something similar later, even after receiving the backlash. That means he does what he wants to. He does not worry too much about the backlash. All clear, I think. Okay, right. Okay, let's see. This is the last passage. Let's see. So I hope all of you have read the information. Let's see. So the MNC filed the case against PK for criminal assault and tarnishing its brand image. So what is the reason? What is the most justified? What is the most plausible? What is the most appropriate reason for this action? Let's see. Now, if you look at option A, right, the MNC intends to arrest its dropping sales post the incident through affirmative action. But the point is, the case has been filed for criminal assault and tarnishing its brand image. So, will this if the sales is dropping, right? Will this reverse the dropping sales? No, this action may not have an impact on the dropping sales at all. Right. Better option is C. It's a message that it will not tolerate such appropriate behavior. It is more about sending out a ethical, value-based kind of a message rather than directly concerned with sales. So best answer is B. Okay, all clear. And once again, everybody, if you are everybody who is asking me, about calls, asking me about score and percentile relation, all this will be taken up in a certain session that will be held very soon. So stay tuned for that. This is not the right platform, as I was telling you again. All the information which you're asking me calls for impeccable research, right? So let the session be backed by proper research. Only then we should, take it up. Anyway, let's see. So everybody is clear with this, right? And if you look at C, there's a problem which employee first is fine, but customer second. PK is not a customer, so not even relevant, right? So the highly brand conscious MNC is using PK to divert. It's not diverting at all. It is in fact sending out the strong value-based ethical kind of a message, right? So the best answer is B. All clear, I think. Let's look at the next one. Right, so now the situation is shifted. So there was a strong social media backlash against PK. His team suggested the following, something that will help improve his image, which will help improve his image. So the purpose is to help improve his image. So what should be the best answer? Best answer, you can see, is A. He reacted as the sight of the villages ablaze was unbearable. It's almost like he also had this Robin Hood image, right? First thing. Secondly, what happened was a tragedy. It could actually put a person in shock, right? So it was more like an instant shock reaction. So this will only explain his actions. And by the way, it is something which will further his image that he is concerned about humanity, right? Okay, his on-screen Robin Hood image influences his off-screen behavior, or should it be the other way around, right? His off-screen behavior should not be, his off-screen behavior is similar to his on-screen behavior, probably that. So he maintains off-screen what he does on-screen, probably that would have been a better option than B, right? So B in its present form, we can eliminate this, right? Because it's not the on-screen that is going to influence the off-screen behavior. We are concerned more about the person remaining consistent. Okay, all clear. Okay, eye for an eye, meaning this is the very reason why he could be getting a strong backlash, right? He could be getting a very strong negative reaction. An eye for an eye is almost like wild justice, right? So what is the problem with D? The plight of the islanders deserved an immediate delivery of justice. The only problem is with this. Is it an immediate delivery of justice, or was it like a shock reaction, a reaction in anger? So that is what we have to be looking at. So A is a better option than D, right? And the MNC deserved more than just a slap for its irresponsible actions, but the slap was to the representative, right, not to the MNC. So that is why we have to also eliminate E. All clear, I think. Last question is this. A few months pass, and so the slapping incident still garnered a good number of views. So the publicist of this film star, right, was aware that he wanted to join politics. So now the purpose is to take advantage of the situation, to further his political mileage, to further his political desires. Let's see. So look for something which will help further the political objectives, the political aspirations of this certain celebrity. Okay. Best answer is B. Right. Now, let's eliminate one by one and see. He should meet the MNC representative and apologize. If he apologizes, it will only send out the message that he is accepting that he was wrong, right? And it may not send a very good message, right? It does not send out a very, let's say, good political message, right? And if you look at B, he should visit the island and publicly promise to rebuild the island and publicize it in the social media. This will ensure that people get the message that this certain celebrity is concerned about the larger population, is concerned about the public, right? So if you look at A, it only tells you that he is concerned about his image, but he may not have much of, does not say anything about whether he has concerns about the public. So B tells you that he is concerned about humanity, humanity in general. So the better answer is this, right? Slap the greedy Is it greed, by the way, urges fans to slap greedy officials? This is very far-fetched. He might even land in jail for this. By the way, first of all, was it greedy? Was it greed on the part of the company? We do not know, right? He should announce that he is entering politics with a slogan, one tight slap. But one tight slap to whom and for what? So again, very misguided, right? In his upcoming movie, in the opening scene, he should slap and shame a treacherous, in his upcoming movie. So it's going to be only a movie. It's a on-screen gimmick, right? It may or may not further his political mileage. It may or may not. He already, by the way, has an on-screen image of being a Robin Hood, on-screen only. Now you should actually convert it to off-screen, and only B can do that, right? So with that, we come to the end of the session. I hope everybody learned it. And by the way, before we end, let me quickly again remind you about the MBA conclave going to be conducted by Gradeup from it's going to be on the 16th and 17th of January. And this conclave will help you chart out a certain roadmap for yourself to your dream B school. And the speakers, the people who will be speaking in this conclave are these people. So you will definitely stand to benefit from this. Make sure that you are a part of this conclave and get the benefits, right? And CAT 2021, there is a course. Enrollment has already started. So the features of the course are 300 plus live interactive sessions. There will be 200 plus PDFs, 7,000 practice questions, 80 plus mocks and sectional tests. And this is inclusive of GDPI and writing and assessment test, in the second round. So there will be revision workshops also, and call at this number for counseling to clarify any of your doubts, right? And SNAP 2020 analysis, it will be today at 1:15. So stay tuned and watch it right after. This is something which will help you put your performance in perspective for those who attempted, who are going to attempt it today, and it will definitely help people who are preparing for the exam in the future. Similarly, IFT exam analysis will be on 24th of January. Most important, subscribe to our channel and stay tuned to Gradeup, so that way you will not miss out on any of the important sessions that we are going to conduct, right? So what are the benefits of subscribing to Gradeup Super? You will get access to all the running and upcoming courses, right? The courses are, the exams are, MB entrance exams are these: CAT, IFT, XAT, SNAP, TISNET, Maharashtra CET, right? CMAT, NMAT, MAT. All these, there will be courses which will cater to different exams. So you will get access to all the running and the upcoming courses within that tenure. So there will be no need to purchase separate courses for different exams, right? So if you subscribe to Gradeup Super, you will have access to all the courses which are running at that point of time, which will also start during your tenure, during that subscription tenure. So all these courses you will be enabled to, you will basically gain access to it, right? And to speak to our counselor to know more about it, call on this number, right? So, and if you like the session, do not forget to like, comment, do not forget to share, and last but not the least, subscribe to the channel and continue making the most of the different sessions that Gradeup has planned for you, right? And last but not the least, some information on Gradeup Super. The subscription duration are these. You can subscribe for 3, 6, 12 or 18 months, and the benefits, right? And the people who will be taking your classes are these. You can see there are you just have to look at the score. These people themselves, they are performers in their own field. So there is the number of, you just have to look at the score which they have achieved, right? So these are the faculty, and it's quite a enviable pool of knowledge that we have, right? So with that, we come to the end of the session. I will see you again accordingly from time to time according to the schedule. Till then, have a nice day and continue making the most of the sessions provided by Gradeup. Thank you.